Hi everyone, back here again with another train, and right now we're gonna lay some porcelain pavers, and this is where majority of the contractors and companies that don't know how to do the job properly messes up. So what do we have here today is something that can make everyone's life easier, which is the Techniseal Spacer. And we do have two options over here, and I want to have Felix go over and share what's the difference between the two options that we have today.
Okay, so if you see here, porcelain pavers are actually trending. It's a lot basically taking your somewhat similar tile inside your kitchen out to the backyard. Porcelain pavers is something that's very durable. However, like you said, just really teaching the industry of how porcelain's got to get installed. And so we have two versions of spacers. Unlike actual spacers inside a house, these spacers have little round discs. So they're designed to stay underneath and stay intact with the system, so that way they don't work their way out. Very important to have something that stays in there permanently, because you do not want porcelain touching each other, because porcelain will chip. So today I'm going to demonstrate using the rubber, just because it's a much more quieter. As you can see, if I throw it on there, it's much more quieter than the plastic spacer. Okay, so the plastic spacer, the reason for the plastic spacer is obviously over sand. But if you put it on open graded aggregate, when you walk on it, you're going to hear a little squeaking. Some of the advantages of the plastic, those spacers, it's actually designed so, like for a running bond, you can actually snap this right here, and now you have a running bond.
So that's why it's a clean cut on the outside border.
Yes, absolutely. And then also you could snap this for the outside.
Right. So Felix, let me ask you this. So if I'm laying, let's say, about 1,000 square feet of this stuff, right? On in this case, we have open aggregate, right?
Yes.
It's a permeable system. What's going to happen is we don't have any polymeric sand going between the gaps. Usually, if this was a regular installation over, let's say, a concrete, right? Okay. How do you apply the polymeric sand on this?
So so if this is actually on a sand set application, you will have to use a roller compactor to vibrate the sand, and that's where where I see a lot of construction in the porcelain start failing, because you can't just put a traditional plate compactor on this, because it's a different type of animal in terms of paver. If you want to,
of course,
you want to look at this, is actually porcelain, and that's concrete paver. So you put a plate compactor on something like this, it's just going to go all over the place. And so that's why there's products like that Bartell roller over there. If you want to point the camera to the audience, show the audience that we have an actual roller compactor for sand set applications. So it sends a different frequency of vibration over the surface, where it doesn't push the paver this way or that way. It just simply vibrates, so you can actually have joint sand consolidation. So most jobs right now that contractors are putting in sand set porcelain, they don't compact it, because they know that a plate compactor will not work on here, and so therefore
they get scared, because they're not educated to, like, we have the right tools for this type of work, right? Usually they'll just get the regular metal plate, put a carpet, over, and then just try to go back and forth, and then it's like you have a bunch of products getting chipping out, and then you don't have the quality that you promised to the client, and now you have a problem in a situation on a job site where it's kind of like the client's unhappy and the product really does not look good, right?
It doesn't. And so polymeric sand, as you know, if you install polymeric sand over a concrete paver, what do you need to do? You need to compact it so it can consolidate. So if you don't have proper consolidation it doesn't matter what brand polymeric sand that you put in there. You can put the best polymeric sand in there, but if you don't have proper joint consolidation, the polymeric sand will fail.
Right. So we have Louis here today. He's going to be helping us installing a few of those, so that way we can kind of see and understand how does this go. And today I'm using Gravel to help with the installation of the porcelain tiles, the porcelain pavers. Gravel is a tool that you can really improve and help you as you install in a very large piece. So it's a very simple tool to use. I'm gonna get the stone from the pile, and then I'm gonna pass it on to Louis, and then he's gonna keep installing this, so we can see how easy and quick it is for you to install it with the right tools and the right equipment for it. this is looking good. We lay this within, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. And as you walk on it, you can hear on the plastic side more of a sandy noise. You can kind of hear it. But like in terms of leveling, everything is so nice and level. Like doesn't really change the elevation or whatsoever.
So this area right here, like I said, we're doing this on an open graded aggregate. So porcelain pavers can actually be, this can actually be set on a thin set on concrete.
Yeah.
This could be set on an open graded aggregate. So therefore you want to leave the gaps open for permeability so the water flows goes into the actual aggregate back into the soil. Or you can actually put it on a concrete road base, very similar to concrete pavers, and you put it over a sand, and then that's when you use a polymeric sand.
That's right.
And polymeric sand does need to be compacted, and like I said, going to that bar tail roller over there is the tool that you need to compact and consolidate the sand.
Yeah. Do you guys have any type of suggestion or like any recommendation how to install polymeric sand after you finish the porcelain pavers?
Okay, so in terms of installing polymeric sand for porcelain pavers, you're going to get a lot more coverage. As you can see, the joint spacing is very small, and the paver is only 3/4 of an inch thick. So if you're using our spacers, one bag is going to yield approximately, it's going to cover approximately 250 square feet.
Wow.
So for me, I would actually get a bag. I would have my team, depending on how size the job is. So if it's 1,000 square feet, we're roughly using 4 bags. So I'm going to have my guys open up one bag for every 250 square feet and simply just sweep it in as you would normally with your concrete pavers. Sweep it in and then basically sweep off all the residual and then blow it off really well and then activate the joint. And I'm glad we're talking about this because when you're activating polymeric sand on porcelain pavers, it's somewhat similar to the concrete paver, but you got to understand you cannot use as much water as a concrete paver because the concrete paver also absorbs some of that water. So you got to be very careful. Some guys tend to use a pump sprayer and just only saturate the joints because that's really all you're trying to do is actually saturate the joint. Or you can actually go with a shower nozzle in a much more larger area because you got to understand the paver is not going to absorb any of that water. So you got to be very careful.
The porcelain is not going to absorb, the regular pavers does absorb the water.
Yes.
And then basically just spray the water gently.
Gently.
And then
so what you can do to make sure, because realistically all you're trying to do is add enough water to actually activate the polymer. So in this case, if I had a key, let's just say we did this, I would test a key in a couple spots, very similar to a cake, right? Just make sure you got full saturation before you move on. Once you figure out how much water it needs, you already have the recipe for the rest of your project.
That makes sense, right? That's good, guys. So this was just a tutorial of how you install the porcelain pavers properly in the right way. Using the proper spacers, and then you have spacers for your edge, and also you have regular spacers for the middle. So this is why, again, we're using Techniseal, using Belgard, Calstone's product to really bring the quality and to really bring what we promised to our clients as we present the proposal for an estimate in a project. So this is just basically showing them this is what we promised, and that's what we're delivering with quality, right products, and right tools, and that's it. Right?
And support.
So that's right, yeah. So good. So we're gonna move on now to the next training, and we're gonna be doing the wall training right now.
Yes, the wall's next.
Let's do it. Thank you.
Thank you.